What should everyone try at least once in their life? Serious. Volunteer at a soup kitchen. Most of those transients you see on the street are actually very nice, normal people who just had a bad break. Volunteer at a soup kitchen. And not on Thanksgiving or Christmas. People need help all year round. Don't just think of them on the holidays. Look someone dead in the eyes and say exactly what you think about them. See how it turns out. Just spend a few days completely out from the world. Politics? Don't know / care. Social issues? Don't know / care. Finances, health, friendships, enemies, items etc. In today's world I fear sometimes the amount of information some of us take in might be a little too much in the long run. It's strangely nice to pretend like nothing exists outside of go to work, have a snack, chill, sleep. Important note, only for a few days. However, what happens if you do this too long? Asking for a friend. Maybe nothing. Maybe you fall too deep in your own ideas and take them as the ultimate truth. Exploring different places around your neighborhood on your own. You never realize what you can find until you try. Then bring someone along with you next time and show them. I did this once as a teen. Just took my dog out for a walk to a part of the neighborhood I didn't usually go to. We found a little path behind the last street, which led to a cute creek, which led to an idyllic bend, where there was a beautiful huge cottonwood tree and the grass so soft all around it. Ended up taking the dog there for picnics every weekend. Wow, what a spectacular find. Doing something kind for a stranger. They may remember it for a lifetime. Plant a tree. Do something you normally wouldn't do, like a hobby you normally wouldn't consider doing. Even if it might not be for you, you at least have some knowledge of it. Learn a musical instrument. Not only is it a useful way to spend your free time, but with a little time and effort, you can easily get good enough to play your favorite songs and create your own tunes as well. I've been playing guitar for 11 years now, and I also picked up the bass about 5 years ago, and it's one of the best feelings in the world when you are able to entertain other people through music. Any instrument will be difficult at first to learn, but by remaining patient, you can easily get to the point where playing an instrument becomes almost a therapeutic experience. And you don't have to bust the bank and purchase the most expensive models just to sound good. A good player can make even a worn out, broken instrument sound like heaven. And a bad player can make a new expensive instrument sound bad. Go somewhere with no light pollution, on a clear night, and look at the stars. Write a short story that one actually wants to write, especially if it turns out bad. In my experiences in school dissuade people from writing for themselves. Everyone can write something cool and interesting, and failing a lot is part of the process of becoming better. This applies to anything creative, including engineering. Kinda an umbrella, but learn a post-apocalypse skill. That's what I call them in my head. Mine was blacksmithing. I took a blacksmithing course over the summer, and learned a staggering amount about what it takes to take raw materials and turn them into useful tools. I have a background in geology, and metallurgy has always interested me, so it made sense. Seriously, find something low or no tech that makes you feel accomplished. Woodworking, smithing, animal husbandry, archery, soap making, beekeeping, hell, grow some corn. Something to remind you where we've been as a species. I absolutely love this one. I was a Boy Scout for 8 years and part of what I loved about it so much was the diverse amount of skills I was able to learn. One thing I would still love to learn is blacksmithing. It sounds so fun. Spending extended time with people fundamentally different from you. Does school count for that one? Only if you make an effort to actually get to know your classmates. Being in the same room isn't enough. Go do a discovery flight and log the time. General aviation pilot here. You probably have 2 to 3 flight schools within 30 miles of your house. They will have something called a discovery flight. You sit left seat where the pilot in command normally sits, and it's usually somewhere around $70 for a 45-minute flight. The instructor will handle the takeoff and landing. And when you get up there, he will give you some headings to fly, maybe an altitude or 2 to hit, and then take you back to the airport. You get an incredible view of your area. You get to fly a plane, and if you buy a pilot logbook, $10 on Amazon, or at the flight school, you can have the instructor sign it and have actual time logged while flying a plane, which you can then use towards your license if you ever pursue it, even if you have zero desire to actually become a pilot. It's an awesome experience. Gift certificates for Discovery flights are my go-to for Christmas/birthday presents for people that I really like, but don't know what to buy. I'll add to this, even if you get motion sick in small planes, I do, and it sucks you won't if you're actually flying. It's kinda cool. Yep, I get motion sick, and I'm also terrified of flying commercially. Hell, I get scared on a tall ladder. I have zero issues flying a C-172. Traveling to another country. It's really great to experience a different culture. And staying at a resort in Cancun is not experiencing another culture. Visit a national park. They're amazing. Enjoy your country's nature, wherever that may be, you know, state parks too. Then get upset at how much people are slobs and assholes. Go hiking/trekking with your friends. Special reason why with friends? I live in the Netherlands, where trekking options are minimal, or at least quite boring to me, but I like to do some hiking when on vacation, usually with my wife, but did the W track in Patagonia once with friends, which was great. Hiking with closely bonded friends is a truly wonderful experience. Do dogs count? Open bracket. They do. Drawing and painting. Don't just give up when you realize it's not perfect on your first try. Artistic skill takes time and practice. It also takes an attentive eye. You can teach yourself these skills. Follow YouTube tutorials and books. Follow Bob Ross while he paints. Be patient with yourself and try your best. Art really is a gift. The ability to communicate ideas to people by drawing them is really helpful in a lot of ways, and it really boosts your confidence knowing you're not total crap at it, lol. It also changes how you perceive the world around you. You start appreciating the little beautiful things more. Give it a go. You'll suck at first, but it'll be worth it. I used to love to draw. I sometimes still do, but I find that I'm a very impatient person, so I started writing instead. But huge respect to the ones who can actually complete an art. I find that I'm a very impatient person, so I started writing instead. Funny, that's literally the reason I stopped writing. Stargazing really makes you realize how insignificant you are in the larger scheme of things. Hard to stargaze when there's so much light pollution that you can't see the stars. Scuba diving. There's a whole world underwater that is so unbelievably beautiful. Go watch a movie in a theater by yourself. When you have people with you, even if you both are perfectly quiet and never talk to each other once, there is still a sort of unspoken social obligation between you. Going by yourself is strangely liberating and really aids in enjoyment of the film and experience, in my opinion. In my late 20s I started going to afternoon movies by myself because I worked nights. I loved the mostly empty theaters and the experience of being totally immersed into a film. Complimenting yourself. So many of us are so focused on the things we deem negative about ourselves, when everyone has something good about them. I've always found it interesting that treat others how you'd want to be treated is generally accepted practice, but treat yourself how you'd want to be treated is completely foreign to a lot of people. Americans should drive cross country. If you live in a city on the East Coast and haven't traveled by car across the West, you have no idea how beautiful and vast this country is. The East is so congested. Driving across South Dakota from Sioux Falls to Deadwood was the most surreal thing ever to me. And driving through Iowa, man. I lived in a metro area of Connecticut. Traveling through Iowa, holy cow, I didn't know there could be that much land and corn. In Connecticut, if there's a piece of land, they cut down the trees and build condos or a shopping plaza. Try Kansas. That's one state you think you'll never get out of. It's flat and seems endless. Dude, I went to Arizona this summer, and we left from near Houston at 6 AM. We dropped minimal times and I fell asleep, and it was dinner time, and I'm like, where are we? And the driver was like an hour outside of El Paso. We were still in Texas, and at dinner in El Paso, and you think Kansas is big. The sun has risen, the sun has set, and we ain't been through Texas yet. Houston to LA, halfway there and still in Texas. Take a day off, and spend it alone, with no one but themselves. Enjoy life's pleasures by oneself. Lol, that's me every day. Solo travel for a few weeks or more. I used to be the type person that would be very dependent on having other people travel with me. Solo traveling on the other hand truly is a liberating feeling. You learn many things about yourself and mature. Work in a restaurant. You will gain valuable social skills and appreciate every job you have afterwards. Learn a foreign language. It improves the way you think in your own native language and makes you a more dynamic person. I'm a linguistic pattern analyst, certified fluent in 5, and I can say this is legitimately some of the best advice. You will learn so much about a culture from their colloquial dialects and national languages. In prison I knew a white supremacist, big skinhead guy named Kenny. For fun I taught him Spanish, a little each day. We did that every day for about a year together, and by the end of it, he could converse with the Mexican nationals and he began to empathize with them. Caused him to see things differently, to recognize them as human beings. Just through being able to actually communicate with them. It's surprising how much people have to say, once they truly can communicate. Language is such a beautiful thing rife with its own rich history, culture and flair. I don't know who I would be if I had never found my love for language. You were in prison? I was. For 3 years. How did you become fluent in 5 languages? That's incredible. Probably by studying instead of being on Reddit. Everyone should try to see the world from the perspective of somebody less fortunate than them, or somebody with a completely different philosophy at least once. True, they should probably do so more than once in their lives, but one is better than none. A walk in the rain without an umbrella, just for fun. Taking a road trip with your friends. It's such a great bonding experience being trapped in a little metal box with a group of friends for hours at a time traveling to a destination. You'll drive each other crazy. You'll make each other laugh. It truly is a wonderful experience. Working retail. It will affect how you treat people for the rest of your life. Working retail destroyed my view of people. Retail brings out the true form of others. It's crazy how much people annoy me now.